Hey YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the VK8FOS YouTube channel. We've got another Don't Look Up video for you guys today. And we're going to be covering the topic of whether or not the 5930 works for Don't Look Up. Now, this is a common question that I've been getting a lot of emails about and comments on my channel about, because the famous TBS5927, which is actually used by the scientists for the research project, has sold out everywhere. I'm not sure if that was just bad timing or the hype for Don't Look Up has made this card sell out, but unfortunately, there's none for sale anywhere. And I don't email me or comment asking where I can get one, because I don't know. They're all gone, unfortunately. So yeah, I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but yeah, I just thought I'd let everybody know that there's going to be a delay in videos coming out, because I've had to pull down all of my satellite dishes and all of my antennas, because we had a Category 3 cyclone, hurricane, typhoon, whatever the verbiage is in your country, actually just skimmed my hometown of Darwin here. So yeah, everyone's fine. My family's fine. My wife's fine. No damage to our house or structures or our garden. We were very, very lucky, considering the eye wall came within 50 kilometers of my property. So I've erected one satellite dish over there somewhere, and we're going to actually demonstrate and maybe test the rumor that maybe or maybe not this card works for Don't Look Up. So if we have a look at this packaging box here, so this is the box for a TBS5930, which is an internal PCIe equivalent of the 5927, and you can see here in the black text it actually says professional. I hope you guys can see that if it focuses, but anyway, it's not focusing, but yeah, that says professional. Okay, if we get the box for the 5930, you can see here that it says TV tuner. Okay, so that distinction is very important: professional and TV tuner. You can see the TBS 5927 is professional, and this card here has the hardware on board and the driver support for locking onto and receiving exotic data transponders. This one kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Okay, and I'm leaving that answer ambiguous and let you guys decide at the end of the video. And there's also another feature that we need. If you scroll down to the TBS 5927 product page, we can see here we've got this text saying blind scan support. So remember, I told you guys in a previous video that a satellite receiver, if it has blind scan, that's the ability of that receiver to search for transponders it doesn't already know about. Okay, and it will negotiate the frequency, symbol rate, and polarization. So they're the three defining factors that make up a satellite transponder, and without those three values we cannot decode, lock onto, and receive data. Okay, and if you go to the 5930 page, you will see that there is nothing indicating that this receiver supports blind scan. So that's the two things. It doesn't have the required hardware to lock onto and receive exotic data transponders, and it doesn't have blind scan. Okay, so that's really all I need to say for this part of the video. So I just need to set a few things up, and then we're actually going to do a live demonstration of a couple of features of the 5930 to see if it can aid us in using Don't Look Up. So I'll get set up and see you guys shortly. Okay guys, I'm back. So let's turn our attention to EBS Pro here. If you guys don't know what EBS Pro is, go and get yourself up to speed, because it is the Swiss Army knife of satellite hunting and decoding in Windows. So yeah, go and watch this video here, which is actually part 2 in my Don't Look Up playlist here. So we'll go back to EBS Pro. You can see up here in the top left hand corner, I've actually got my 5930 selected in EBS Pro, and I'm going to demonstrate to you that the demodulator of this product is not suited for receiving exotic and obscure data transponders. So I've been playing around with this transponder lately. This is a fun transponder to decode. It's got some pretty sensitive stuff on it. If I just double click this, it'll bring up the signal analyzer, and we'll turn our attention to my webcam. And you guys should be able to see here that It's hard to see because of the exposure of the camera, but this is the actual lock status light, and it's green in color. And you can see that it's flicking very rapidly because the demodulator in this satellite tuner card is actually trying really hard to stay locked on this signal here. So, and if we turn our attention to the signal analyzer in EBS Pro, we can actually see what's going on the software side. You can see here that this lock status light is blinking on and off, and it's actually lost lock completely now, despite having a signal of 12 dB, which is insanely strong. And then we go, so we've got another lock, and you can see here that we have a very high bit error rate. BER stands for bit error rate, and that is the equivalent to SNR in digital systems. So yeah, we can see that this thing is not coping very well trying to stay locked on this signal. So that's an explanation of that. I'll just get set up for the next thing, and I'll show you how this device doesn't support blind scan. See you in a second. Okay guys, so we'll turn our attention to the EBS Pro window now, and we can see up here in the top left hand corner, I've actually got my 6903 satellite tuner card, which is an internal PCIe card, very, very good card, selected, and I've performed an RF scan between 10700 megahertz and 12750 megahertz. We can see that the satellite transponders are concentrated into these two distinct areas of the KU band spectrum. Okay, so if we go to the Discover tab, I go to scan ranges. You can see here that I've set up two separate scan ranges on vertical polarization just to scan these two sections of the RF spectrum, just to keep this video nice and short. So we're going to bust the myth that the TBS5930 can actually blind scan, but we need a baseline first, and that's why we're doing it with the 6903 card. So I'm going to go to Discover, and then I'm going to press Start on this, and you will see how blazingly fast these internal PCIe cards bring in satellite transponders. Look at that, 6 seconds, and we've already found 5. Okay, and I'll be scanning the second section now. And look at that, guys. We've got 21 seconds and we found 8 transponders. Isn't that great? Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm actually going to turn off my TBS5930. I'm going to go up to the tuner selection drop-down menu here. I'm going to select my 5930. I'm going to lock that, so I make sure I'm definitely using the 5930. I'm going to start and restart the 5930 now. And then we're going to do the same thing, guys. We're going to perform a blind scan. So I'm going to press start on this, and this is going to take a while, so I'm going to have to speed up the video. So hitting start now, guys, and I'll see you guys very shortly. Okay, guys, so despite me speeding up the video, we can see here that the time elapsed has been 3 minutes and 21, which is a very, very long time compared to the 6903 internal PCIe card. And it's only found 2 transponders out of the potential 8 that the other card found. So yeah, I hope that busted the myth that these devices support blind scan, because they absolutely do not. And yeah, so just summing up, the 2 things that we've proven have been that the TBS5927 doesn't like locking onto exotic data transponders, and we can see that by this light blinking and the very high bit error rate and the lock, like it locking on and off of this transponder. Okay, and the second thing we've proven with this card is that blind scan doesn't work properly. So cool. All right, I need to get set up again for the last section of this video. It's getting a bit long, I'm sorry for that, guys, but we're actually going to try and use the TBS5930 with Don't Look Up. So yeah, I'll get set up with that, and I'll see you guys shortly. Okay guys, I'm back for Act 3 of this video now. So you guys can see here that I'm actually booted into a virtual machine, which is evident by this terminal output here. And I'm running Dragon OS Focal X R37. The reason I'm using a virtual machine is just so I can make this as accessible as possible for you guys. So now I've done all the steps in my Don't Look Up tutorial video. up until the time code of 7 minutes and 29 seconds, okay? So you guys can go and watch this video, my original Don't Look Up video, and then follow my instructions in the tutorial up to the timestamp of 7 minutes and 29 seconds, okay? So I'll go back to my Dragon OS virtual machine again. And we're just going to continue on with the commands that I've got here in my list here. So just to ensure that I've actually got my TBS5930 attached, I'll just run that command, and you can see here that I've got the TBS Technologies China TBS5930 showing up in my terminal output, which is excellent. So remember, like in part 1 of my Don't Look Up tutorial video, remember that we had to patch the drivers for Don't Look Up. And I'll just show you one more other thing. Sorry about this, guys. I know we're bouncing back and forth between windows, but I actually AI vibe coded a patch for the TBS5930, and it appears to actually do something. I tried with and without the patch, and without the patch, it didn't work that well. So yeah, you guys should follow along if you guys want to try this patch out with me. So this is experimental. I'm not a programmer. I just took the 5927 patch, and then I just asked AI to port it to the 5930, and it apparently works. So cool. All right, back to Dragon OS virtual machine now. Okay, so let's continue on with where we left off in my original Don't Look Up video. So I'm going to copy and paste this command, and that is going to download the patch into our home directory here, and you can see that that is there. I'll just move this size thing here so you guys can see that. All right, so we'll just keep working through my text document here. I'm going to cd into the driver directory where all the .c files are for each of the TBS satellite tuner cards. I'm going to run that command to actually patch the 5930 drivers. Whoops. I'm using a different computer for this, guys. It's got a terrible keyboard on it. Okay, we're going to run the git diff command, and we can see here that we actually have the green line here has been added by the patch, and that's excellent. All right, we're going to cd to the media build file now, or directory, and that's where the TBS driver build files are located. And we're just going to run a couple of make commands. So all these commands here are just basically directly out of my original Don't Look Up video, guys. Okay, that one ran successfully. We just run that command. Okay, make sure you're inspecting your terminal output for errors too, guys, as we progress through the tutorial. We're going to run the strings command just to show us the contents of TBS5930.c file. And we can see here that we do, in fact, have the confirmation that we're going to be receiving a raw payload with this device here. Hopefully. Okay, we're going to... Sorry, this is a virtual machine, so copy and paste is not fantastic. Okay, paste this command. So these commands here are just straight out of my original Don't Look Up video, guys. So we've basically picked up from the time code of 7 minutes and 29 seconds in my original video. So we're just continuing the driver build process. All right, this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll see you guys shortly when that finishes. Okay, guys, so yeah, that took a little bit of time there, but yeah, everything seemed to work fine. Always make sure that you're inspecting your terminal output for any errors. So the next thing we're going to do is actually install the drivers now. So I'll copy and paste this command here, press enter. Okay, that seemed to work successfully. Now we're going to cd back to our home directory now. I'm going to copy and paste this command, and that's just going to fetch the, I think they're FPGA images or just firmware images for the device. And then we're just going to unzip the archive to where those firmware files need to be. And then we need to reboot our machine now. So I'll just write sudo reboot, and I'll see you guys shortly. Okay guys, so we're back after a reboot now. So I'm just going to run this command here, and that's going to tell us if our 5930 drivers are installed and it's being picked up by Linux, and it is, so that's outstanding. I'm not going to go too much into what dvb-s zap is, but we covered that in the original Don't Look Up video, but that's going to allow us to receive data from this transponder here. And the fundamental difference between my original Don't Look Up video and this one is we're actually using extended as the LMB type. So don't use universal like I did in my previous video. So extended is what you want. So we're just going to hit enter on that. And I'm only just going to hopefully capture just a tiny bit of data, hopefully. Okay, we got data. Okay. All right, so I just captured 3.3 megabytes. So because this thing isn't really designed for this purpose, you can see that the lock light's still blinking. Try and capture just a little amount of data, because the larger amount of data you capture, the passing time just increases exponentially. So, all right, I'm not going to cover how to install Don't Look Up because we did that in the original Don't Look Up video, but we need to cd into the Don't Look Up directory, and now we're going to actually pass, decode, and extract a PCAP file from that data. So I'll run this command, hit enter. This is going to take a while, so I'll speed up the video and post. See you shortly. Okay guys, so as you can see here with our statistics here, we've actually had a successful decode. So from 408 baseband frames, we've actually extracted 261 IP packets from a capture of 3.3 megabytes in size. So that is excellent. So what we're going to do now is we're going to navigate in our file manager to the Don't Look Up folder. We're going to go to output, and then you will see here that we actually have a PCAP file of 130 kilobytes. So that is outstanding. So let's double click this and confirm if we've got any packets. I'm going to have to blur this out for you guys because I don't want to expose sensitive data on this satellite, but if you guys can see that, we actually have lots of data. And I don't want to be too specific with this data, but it is essentially a LTE backhaul link, 4G backhaul link. So yeah, very sensitive data there. I'm not interested in looking at that, so I'm going to close that window there. And then this virtual machine will be deleted later, and along with these files. So, okay, so summing up, 5930, does it work for Don't Look Up? Yes, it kind of does, but not that well. Will it get you out of trouble in these times when we can't get 5927s? Yeah, kind of. What is my official recommendation? Should you buy one? I want to say yes, but I have a feeling that you should be able to find a better card than this out there anyway. So, I don't know. It's up to you. I don't want to make you guys spend your hard-earned money. It is only $70 US, I believe, for one of these things. So it's pretty affordable. If you've got the money lying around and you really want to get started with TV satellites, yes, but you're going to have a hard time finding data transponders, unfortunately. That's just how it is with this unit. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Sorry about the flip-flopping around and the long video, but this stuff takes time. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.